Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining me. We should be live on Facebook now, and I'll just do a share screen to get you to the beginning of this. And so, welcome. We've got some people on the Zoom call, and we're also going out live streaming to Facebook. This is a topic which is, I think I'm just catching up really with everything I've been doing since lockdown. Since lockdown, I've been doing 2 classes a day on empowering learning and using my forensic approach of going, we haven't just got a problem with literacy, why have we got a problem with literacy? And so I'm going back into looking at that. And what I've done today is just amalgamated all of the calls that I've been doing and giving you a little roadmap as to what to do first, and how to catch up. All the snippets that I've done, I've put up on my YouTube channel, which is just Olive Hickmott, and you're welcome to go and find any of those. And if you go back to the link to my WordPress that I sent out for this through Facebook and through LinkedIn, you will find the link to the electronic version of where to find all the snippets. So do go back to that WordPress and find the snippets that I'm going to be talking about. I'm sure you've tried every technique. Most people who've had trouble with literacy and numeracy. They've tried every technique out, but there is some fundamental skills of learning that are missing and they're not being talked about in school. And I was looking at some work this morning from the Education Foundation, and still we're not talking about these skills. And I know people haven't got very much time, so all the snippets are really short. Some are like as little as 4 minutes, some are a bit longer. So what I've done is I've built a wall of video snippets, and which I'm just about to show you. So let me just take you through this, which is a little bit overwhelming, but it's available electronically, and if you look on the WordPress page, you'll find links to all of this. So there's really just 4 topics, and just look down the left-hand side is anxiety about learning, finding people's strengths, how to improve their literacy, and how to improve their numeracy, and that's all there is. And all these blue lozenges here are videos, and they're the videos I mentioned earlier. They can be quite short, they can be a little bit longer, but we know that people have got not a lot of time, so I thought mapping them out like this, where you could just pick the ones you wanted, was a really good idea. Let me first of all talk about the anxiety one. Nose breathing, grounding, earthing, and sleep. Those are the 3 things that actually I think are more important than anything else we're doing at the moment, because we've got so many stressed children, stressed adults, stressed teachers in an anxiety response. And if you look at the videos on how to learn how to nose breathe, how to learn how to get grounded, which some people call earthing if you're American, and how to get good sleep, all of those 3 will really help you reduce your anxiety. I include in there dyslexia isn't genetic, which I did a few weeks ago, because some people, just because they've been diagnosed with dyslexia or they've got dyslexia in the family, think this is all going to be impossible anyway. That's going to increase their anxiety. So those are the first 4 that I would take a look at. Have you discovered their strengths? So what we want to do is to identify their strengths, be curious about their strengths, praise their strengths, get them to realize what they're good at and how they are doing what they are good at and what they are enjoying. And when they can learn how to do, when they realize how they're doing one thing well, we can convert them to doing something else well. And there's a summary there of using mental imagery for learning, because it's not just for literacy and numeracy, it's for everything. And so that's the summary of what else you might be using mental imagery for. So to improve literacy, but before you go on to improving literacy, You've got to reduce their anxiety, because nobody learns anything if they're anxious, and you've got to find out what they're really good at. And then you move on to visualizing words, and there's quite a lot around visualizing words because I spent my life talking about this. There was the neurodivergent Teddy that most people remember because I had Post-it stuck all over my friend the Teddy. You've got spelling words with no pictures, which is the next level of that, and then remembering what you read and improving all aspects of reading. So there's 4 little mini videos there that you can use in any order. And I also recommend that you take a look at these videos, and if you've got a child who is struggling with literacy, get them to have a look. If you're happy, get them to have a look at the videos as well. Visualizing numbers. This is really common, that people are concerned and frightened about numbers. They find it much more difficult than literacy quite often. So you can have people who are really good at literacy, and they're probably visualizing words if they're really good at literacy, and they're really dreadful at numbers and even frightened of them. So the first topic was, do numbers frighten you? The second one was moving on to fractions and percentages, and the third one was words and numbers together. This is a slide of basically of everything I've been talking about for the last 10 weeks, 12 weeks, something like that. I've lost track. On the next slide, I have this picture, which I'm not proposing that you manage to copy down. If you go back to that WordPress page, you will find this electronically. So you can just click through to the ones you want. So these are exactly the same as the ones on the last page, and you just click through, and I will show you one, for example, on nose breathing. If I click on that one, I don't know whether this works. So that one is 5 minutes. 5 minutes of your life will change your view of what's going on with anxiety. Thank you for joining me. That's the summary session. And next week I'll be back to another topic, but I thought it was a good idea to just give you a summary of what we've been talking about. All of those are on YouTube, totally free. If you're a teacher, you can use them in your school, you can post them to parents, you can get the kids to watch them if you want a break for 5 minutes. So do have a look at those. So thank you very much, and thank you for joining me.